Hey everybody, this is Cromar with TGN bringing you another World of Warcraft Cataclysm video. And today we're taking a look at combat rogues on the public test realms. Yes, the realms are out for the upcoming patch. There is a bunch of PvS DPS changes that I'll be checking out with my DPS rundown series. We're going to start out with the combat rogues and see how they've changed. The changes should be significant, hopefully, but we'll see. Just a quick rundown of those changes. The first thing is that main gouge has been changed to work off of your main hand attack instead of your offhand, which is kind of weird because I don't know why it's still called main gouge, but that's okay, not that important. So hopefully this should be a major buff, and we'll see in the testing if that's true. The next buff that came through is Revealing Strike. If you look at the tooltip, it increases the damage of your offensive finishing move by 35% instead of whatever it was before, 20% I think it was. Now, this doesn't change my setup really. My talents are still the same. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but basically just get all the generic DPS talents and you have 4 points left over, which I spent on Improved Gouge and Improved Sprint, although it's really not that important. You might even want to take Throwing Specialization for a Ranged Interrupt, but for the purpose of this test, it doesn't matter. For the remaining talent points, of course, Relentless Strikes is very important. You can only get 2 in Ruthlessness because you're out of points, and then between these two, Coup de Grace adds more DPS than Lethality because of the relatively low crit chance of Sinister Strike. Glyphs. Now, ever since they buffed Slice and Dice, which I think was after I did my DPS rundown for Combat Rogue, this is now the best bet. It actually doesn't give you 6 extra seconds, it actually gives you 9 extra seconds thanks to the talent. Improved Slice and Dice, it stacks with that. So this is actually a really good glyph. It just means that you get more eviscerates in without having to refresh your Slice and Dice less often. Unfortunately, there's still no room for the glyph of Revealing Strike, which is a very cool glyph, and it does add some damage, but it just doesn't add as much damage as these. The improved crit on Eviscerate is much more significant, and the Sinister Strike, of course, is a huge part of your rotation. Now the rotation's still the same. I'm just going to go through the rotation very quickly here. You do want to open with Ambush, and the reason you want to open with Ambush is because it's 60 energy and you get 2 combo points. See, if you get 2 combo points for 60 energy, so that's the best way to get fast combo points. Then you immediately want to hit a Slice and Dice, and then start spamming. You want to spam your Sinister Strike, Revealing Strike, Eviscerate, and then the next chance you have with 5 combo points, you do want to hit your Slice and Dice. You have 2 cooldowns to manage. You have Killing Spree, and you have Adrenaline Rush, and nothing else really. That's all there is to the rotation. I was showing you the whole rotation. Keep Slice and Dice up. Use Revealing Strike with Eviscerate, and use your 2 cooldowns. Now, if you're wondering why I didn't put Rupture in my rotation, or you think that's wrong, well, Rupture, I've done the test, and you can do them yourself if you don't believe me, but Rupture, full duration Rupture, actually does less total damage than a non-crit Eviscerate, even without Sunder Armor or Expose Armor. So if you're in a raid with Sunder and Expose, and you have your Glyph of Eviscerate, which you should have, then your Eviscerate is simply going to do just vastly more damage. And it's just a waste of your 5 combo points to use the Rupture. Okay, and I'll clear out my combat log and get ready for the real test. Okay, well that is for the test. Now at the moment that I stopped attacking, I was actually at about 12.3k and it just dropped because of deadly poison ticks, which if you've ever done DPS tests with recounts, you know that happens. Not a big deal, but anyway, so 12.3 is our number for our DPS with our combat rogue. So let's see what our breakdown looks like here. The number one thing we're concerned about is main gouge. At least that's the number one thing I'm concerned about. Let's see how it did. 7.2% of your damage. Which isn't great. And the 12.3k is okay, I suppose. It's a little difficult to measure that against others because I've not done this exact test with a lot of other specs. But I can tell you that in a raid with raid buffs, you are going to gain a pretty substantial gain. So this is a DPS increase, I think. Now I'm going to be doing more series for these other classes to allow you to compare those classes to this one, and it'll make the numbers make a little bit more sense. But right now, 12.3k unbuffed is a little lower than I hoped. I really hope to see more out of Combat Rogue. The problem here is that main Gauss still is just not doing enough damage. It's a few percent increase over what it was doing before, because the main Gauss is just that, a small buff. And Eviscerate isn't really that much of a buff either. The buff to Revealing Strike just doesn't add that much damage, because it's only adding, 15% to your Eviscerate, and your Eviscerate's only about 14% of your damage, so, yeah. We're talking a few measly percents again, so it's not enough to really give the Combat Rogues the boost they need. The rotation is also still boring and also kind of weird in that you have a chance if you use Sinister Strike at 4 combo points to waste a combo point, and that's kind of silly. So, I mean, Combat Rogues are really not done, it doesn't look like, but after a few days, once I've gotten some more DPS rundowns done with the other classes I plan on testing, including Retribution Paladins, a couple different Hunter specs, and some other stuff, then we'll be able to make a little bit better of an apples-to-apples comparison and see where Combat Rogues really stand. I also want to use a known good DPS class, such as Unholy Death Knight, maybe Survival Hunter, and use that as a metric and see how those compare. Well, that's it for the Combat Rogue for today. Again, I'll be doing more testing on the PTR with other classes very soon. I hope to put out about 1 or 2 videos a day on this subject. And just keep checking the TGN World of Warcraft channel. Check our forums, wow.tgn.tv, for more information. So, thanks for watching. This is Crowmar with TGN. As always, asking you to please rate, please comment, and please subscribe.